Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. Welcome to NXT Watchalong, and welcome. Shall we? Hello. Hi, everybody. Of course, my mic gets unplugged like as soon as I start the broadcast. But here we are, then now forever together. NXT coming to Philly tonight, continuation from Raw last night. And we've got a promising card. We've got a street fight tonight. It's former tag partners taking on each other. We've got some ladies from TNA visiting tonight. We've also got a solid one-on-one number one contenders match between Trick Williams and Javon Evans. Wonder how that will end. Whoever wins that match will take on Oba Femi, the ruler, at Heatwave. Trick is in the house. Good to see you, Zach. Happy National Soft Ice Cream Day to you as well. JR Dugan in the house. Good to see you, JR. George, welcome to the chat. Wouldn't be the same without you. Fatal Influence walking the streets of Philly earlier in the day, taking on the Elegance Brand. And Chelsea Green and the Secret Harvest are here with Ethan Page, a USA-Canada peace treaty tonight between them and Tavion Heights and Tyra May Steele. Okay, so we are in. Okay, so we've got a different setup. They're in a theater. Is this the Hammerstein Ball? This is not Hammerstein Ballroom. But they're in a straight-up theater where the ring is basically the stage tonight. So hold on. Oh, Briggs and Inamura are already fighting backstage. They're scheduled to have a street fight tonight, and I guess we're going to start off with them. So we're going to start right off with the street fight. Okay. Hi, Dro. Good to see you. Dossie, good to see you. Anthony, you here. Angela, first day of school yesterday. Okay. All right, Philadelphia street fight underway between Briggs and Inamura. We'll see what we've got here. And will this be sort of the last hurrah between these two guys, or will it carry on? We'll see what happens. If you're not watching, it is, oh boy, it is difficult to describe. And if I'm going to be honest, I'm a little nervous about the stage setup here for NXT. I've got an old school reference for you guys, but where is he? He's back on the shelf. But Ravishing Rick Rude, his career was cut short because he was wrestling Sting one time in Japan. He took a high cross body to the outside of the ring. He was outside. Sting came flying over the top and he catches him. But at that particular venue in Japan, they had a raised stage before the outside of the ring area next to the guardrails, and Rude caught Sting and fell and landed back first on the corner of the raised stage, and that injured him. That ended his career, his in-ring career. He never wrestled an in-ring match again after that. And what I'm concerned about is they have a bit of a raised stage here tonight in this theater venue in NXT. It looks very aesthetically different. It reminds me of, some of those smaller AEW Dynamite crowds, make your own joke there if you want to. But when they've gone into these venues that are a little more, visually different and stuff. And so in that regard, it's kind of cool, but also there's a steep drop off from the ringside area down to the guardrail area. So there's a pretty wide space between the ropes and where the fans are. It's almost like there's two ringside areas right next to each other. Don't get me wrong, it looks cool, but the practicality of it does have me worried that somebody may get hurt if they're not paying attention. So we'll see what happens. Justin, good to see you. Anthony, yeah, you and me, man, we're on the same page with the stage. I just don't know about it. Whenever I see that, I think about Rick Rude and how his in-ring career was taken from us too early. I mean, his life was cut short too early too, but that's a whole nother discussion. Anyway, also, we're not in the PC, so the crowd is a little not as hungry as I thought they would be. I don't know if they thought they could amp up the crowd by just starting with a fight with no entrance music, no nothing. But the crowd, it's taking them a minute to warm up. Briggs and Inamura are just hitting hard. Yeah, I hope Javon and Trick especially don't catch anything weird out here in this setup. It's man, this vibe is so different tonight. The entranceway to the ring is very short. There's big difference. There's a big spatial difference between the ring and the crowd. It's just a whole different vibe. Yes, George is telling the truth though. This is a good match. I just think, boy, is it just me or do you guys, those of you who are watching along right now, feel like the crowd is kind of disengaged a little bit? And it's weird because you got a camera shot here of Inamura. Oh, just threw Briggs into the chair all the way across the ring that was wedged in between the turnbuckles. You can see the front row of fans, and they're so far away from the ring. It's just weird. It does just feel different, Anthony. I think you're right. I'll have to get used to it too, because as we all know, those of us who congregate together every Tuesday here for NXT, we know these guys can go. We know this is a good product. We know it's a good show. But yeah, the crowd is doing a different thing. So we'll see what happens. Well, Dro, this is live, so it's not exactly a foregone conclusion that it's a DQ. So we'll see what happens. And okay, well, Inamura coming in with a bat. Again, this is a street fight. Oh, man. Yeah, see, Inamura's stance was a little too closed off. He should have opened up his stance a little bit more. Wouldn't have taken that chair to the knee. It does have an Apollo Theater vibe, JR. Good call. George got a question. So Stephanie Vaquer is the number one contender for the World Championship at Clash and Peerage. Who will challenge her since Naomi relinquished the title? Well, I said this in A&B's chat last night. If it were up to me, I would bring up the Iron Survivor Challenge from NXT for the Raw women. That's 5. Okay. By the way, we're in commercial, but I'm watching on Netflix. The Philly crowd's starting to wake up. They're chanting, "You still suck" at Josh Briggs. Anyways, I would do an Iron Survivor match with Raw's women. You take 5 women, so you keep Stephanie Vaquer in there. Go ahead and put Io and Rhea in there as well. And then I would add, who did I say? Nikki Bella. And then I would bring in Bayley, who has been kind of picking up where Naomi left off in that sort of insanity going on. And I think, well, Stephanie won a match against Naomi, and Naomi's not a champion anymore. So Stephanie could always lay claim to that match. They said she won a title shot. So they can always do that. But I would do that. I would change it up. I don't care what they've already booked. I don't think they've booked Nikki and Becky in Paris yet, just because they're fighting on Raw. And you could always put in Asuka instead if you didn't want to put in Nikki, but or Roxy. Nevertheless, I'm not ready to crown Stephanie as champion yet. I think she can wait a little bit longer. I honestly, with what Bayley's been doing in her promos lately, I'd put it on Bayley. But that's me. Raquel's a good choice too, Anthony. Bailey can be. There's just the thing. This is like, and this is what I'm getting at. When you have a champion who has had to relinquish the title, you can be whatever. You can make that match whatever you want it to be. You can do whatever you want. And yeah, I mean, I would want to make it exciting. And also with the Iron Survivor match, you can do you only do it once. I wouldn't do like a men's and a women's match. I think you just do it once because you have so many viable contenders on Raw in the women's division that could be world title contenders, be it former champions or main event talent right now on the main roster. And so anyway, that's what I would do. I mean, honestly, I'm going to be a little disappointed if it's just a one-on-one match with Stephanie and some woman who wins a number one contenders match. Honestly, with the work Naomi had been doing, I was hoping she was going to hold that title until at least the Royal Rumble at this point, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Man, Briggs gives a superplex to Inamura through a guardrail that was straddled on a group of chairs. Unreal. If the NXT audience can follow the Iron Survivor rules, I'm sure the main roster can too. So, Justin, this is the opening match of the show. Briggs and Inamura started off the night with, oh, geez. Briggs just launched a kendo stick into the ring and totally looks like it caught Inamura in the face, maybe even accidentally. Okay, Briggs is taping up Inamura to the top rope. Oh boy. Well, looks like there's going to be a Kanan taking place here. Oh my gosh. Briggs hit hard. Goodness gracious. Inamura having a rough go of it. Man, busts up the kendo stick. Inamura ripping the tape off, freeing himself from the ropes, and now Briggs is begging off. Whoa. Inamura chops through a kendo stick. And now here come the chops. Briggs is in trouble. Unreal. Yeah, this is a hard hitting match. You can see the welts on Inamura on his back. And I mean, these guys, These guys are giving each other a beating for sure. Okay. Oh, Briggs is bleeding. Look out. Oh, man. Slam on the trash can. The next AAA show is after SmackDown. I knew Worlds Collide was going to be that weekend, over a weekend. It being on after SmackDown is an unusual timing. I don't know if they're going to pull the same kind of viewership as they did with Triple Mania, going that late at night. The I know the ref is just doing his job, but Inamura just put Briggs on the table, and the ref is sitting here trying to wipe the blood off his face while he's laid out on the table. It's like an operation's about to take place. That's pretty crazy. Man. Splash through the table off the top. Only gets 2 for Inamura. And Inamura is getting another table out. They are really taking all the weapons out for this street fight. Well, not all the weapons, but they're taking a lot of quantity of weapons for this match. Oh my gosh. Inamura getting yet another table. There's already one set up in the ring. He's already put Briggs through one. And now 2 tables coming into the ring. But this is going to be a problem. But now Briggs and Inamura fighting over that second table. Oh, Briggs crotches Inamura with the table. Oh, man. What a lariat from Briggs. Oh, and he had the chain wrapped around his arm, too, when he did it. Unreal. Now he's going up top. Is he going to go for a moonsault through the table? Oh, my gosh. Moonsaults Inamura through the table. But he didn't really, and that's 3. Wow. Briggs beats Inamura. That was kind of an abrupt ending. They might have had to. He caught him. He just caught him with his legs more than his body. I wonder if they rushed that ending because of the cut over Briggs's eye. He was cut up over his brow. But anyway, yeah, we'll see about that. So yeah, here we have the review of the match, the replay coming up. Masha Slamovich is going to be the special guest referee tonight. Okay. And let's see. Ricky Saints coming out now. We're getting Ricky Saints and Josh Briggs passing each other and exchanging some words. Ricky Saints getting a rematch against Jasper Troy tonight. Interestingly enough, in Philly. And I think it's just supposed to be a regular match. All right, we're on commercial break. Let's see if we can address any questions or things brought up in the chat. Yes, I mean, big news coming out of Raw Monday is that Naomi is expecting, and as a result, congratulations to Naomi and Jimmy Uso. But also, she is no longer women's world champion. So, you know what? Even though it was a short reign, I think she did a lot to raise her stock in the company during that time. So, if and when she decides to come back, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I don't know what goes on in Naomi's mind, and so I don't know if maybe after the baby comes, if she'll want to stay retired or stay retired, if she'll retire or she'll want to come back. If she does want to come back, though, she's going to be coming back. I agree with you, Anthony. If she decides to come back, she's going to be so warmly received and back so much better than ever. Also, it was really refreshing to see her sort of get written off television in character in a way, like making that announcement still in character. You just don't get that a lot, so really kind of sets her apart from other times that's happened. And yeah, I mean, 9 months, George, if we're looking at, I mean, you're just looking at 9 months, then you're looking at what, next May. So that's after WrestleMania next year. However, you've got to consider it's going to be more than 9 months. It'll probably be close to a year. So it may be next SummerSlam at the earliest, because you're talking about being careful and smart and wise with your decisions, your health decisions, and dealing with something like this. Because you're gonna have the baby, you're gonna need to care for the baby, kind of like what do you call it, maternity leave, as a mother, and also, since it's an athletically and physically demanding job, if she does want to come back, she's going to have to rehab from that too, so you add on all that to the 9 months. She's probably if she's intent on coming back, which, I mean, more power to her, whatever she wants to do. If she's intent on coming back, I would give it a year before we see her again. But who knows? So we'll see. But anyway, I'm sure she'll be warmly received when she comes back. So hopefully we can figure that out. But yeah, I mean, Raw's still got plenty of heels. I mean, Asuka and Kyrie are both about to turn heel. Roxy and Raquel are heels. Bailey is clearly becoming a heel. Becky is a heel. Like, I mean, there's plenty of female heels on Raw right now. So I it's not that I would say any of them are as on fire as Naomi has been, but in terms of quantity, they absolutely can fill that spot. Now, in terms of quality, that is a discussion. Will they have anybody to fill the void that she'll be leaving? So, that's your question right there. So, I don't know. But yeah, we'll see what comes of it for sure. So, nevertheless, it's a new development. So, well, that's good that Liv's doing well in her recovery. I haven't heard any updates on Liv for a while. Have a good practice, dude. Do I think someone from NXT will get called up after Naomi leaves? Well, no is the short answer, Justin. However, the more I'm watching NXT, I think we all need to sit down and have a conversation about what the realistic implication is that JC Jane could get called up to the main roster once she finally loses these titles. Trick Williams being interviewed backstage. Trick NA, let's talk about it. But JC could be next, or Blake Monroe. She could be having a short trip at NXT as well. I'm only talking about female heels that are currently heels right now, though. Angela, are you giving me a choice of who do I think gets called up first, or are you just straight up asking me who do I think gets called up first from NXT? Trick's got a big TW chain, and all I see when I think of it is the big Seth Rollins chain. Jasper Troy about to make his entrance. If I was choosing between Blake Monroe and JC Jane as to who I'm calling up, I'd call up JC Jane first. Blake Monroe is only in her first feud in NXT. She hasn't really got a chance to mix it up with anybody, and she hadn't even really had her match with Jordan Grace yet. So, yeah, I think, right, Anthony? That's a part of me is like, ooh, now could Trick be in the vision? That would be something else. But Trick doesn't need the vision. He doesn't need. I mean, him pairing him with Paul Heyman would be really cool, but he doesn't need a manager mouthpiece right now. George, why JC Jane on the main roster? We were asking about heels to replace Naomi, so I'm thinking about heels who are in NXT. And I think JC is the most ready heel, who's already done all the things that she needs to do. I tell you what, I don't love JC, but that doesn't mean I don't think she's not ready. Her character grates on my nerves. I don't like JC, Sophie, but I don't think she's I don't think she's not good. Like, her character gets on my nerves. She kind of annoys me as a gimmick, but I think she has all the tools to be brought up to the main roster, though. So yeah, I think with the right program and the right character, and Anthony's right. She's been there long enough. She has been in NXT since I'm laughing at myself that I have forgotten her name, since Mandy Rose was NXT champion. That's how long she's been in NXT. And pretty consistently. I think how much you change someone coming from NXT to the main roster is proportionate to how much character work they've done in NXT as that character. Does that make sense? Like Mandy, not so Mandy, JC has been JC for so long. It would be a real shock to the system if they, carry and crossed her and had her dress up like Timu Demolition. Ricky Saint's trying to get an advantage on Jasper Troy, but it just ain't working. Jasper's cutting him down. at every corner. Ricky does need to get the win back here, though. Oba, exactly, Angela. Oba has been here for a long time under the same gimmick. Think about Tony D'Angelo. All those guys that have been around for a long time under the same gimmick, if they just got pulled up and they were a completely different person out of nowhere, like that's a real disservice. So yeah. So we'll see what comes of that. I don't want, and I think we've said this, we've all said this together plenty of times. I'm not looking for anybody to get rushed to the main roster if creative isn't ready for them. But at the same time, man, like some of these people, I think they're ready. Angela, I'm the more and more I think about it, and the less and less follow up I see after what happened to Tony D'Angelo. I think Tony was written off. I think he will get called up. He might be the next man to get called up to NXT, to the main roster. Sorry. I think that shadowy figure thing, because they have not discussed Tony D'Angelo since that happened. And we have seen Luca, and we have seen Stax, and we saw that video from Rizzo saying she tore her ACL again. Everybody else in the family has had a little bit of advancement because Stax is working with Ariana Grace now, and Luca was present backstage. And so, but Tony D, ever since he had that scene, we haven't seen Tony D. So I think they did a Sopranos on Tony D. For those of you guys who watched The Sopranos, or at least familiar with the final episode of the Sopranos, they just cut to black without showing you what happened to them, and then the show was over. And that's what they did to Tony D. And so I think that was the nudge and wink to the crowd that Tony's done with NXT. And I don't know, when I say he's next, I guess I mean he's off NXT. I don't know how long they'll wait to debut him on the main roster. For a split second, I thought they might add him to the Vision, because if you can tone down the mafia-ness a little bit on Tony D and just have him be a serious suit-wearing badass, who has Paul Heyman as a mouthpiece and stuff, bro, the way he throws that spine buster, he could be a good henchman for Seth Rollins. He could fit right in. Put him in a black suit next to Braun Breaker. I mean, listen, he's not as explosive as those other two guys yet, but he could slide in there. I think he would be a more impactful fit for the Vision than the Tongans have been for Solo's group. And those guys, we got used to them eventually. So I think we could get used to Tony being in the Vision, but he doesn't have to be in the Vision. I mean, as long as whatever they come up with for him works, I'm okay with. But yeah, I think that's the last we've seen of Tony. Of course, I could be wrong. Of course, I can always be wrong. I'm wrong about things every single week. But yeah, Tony is a singles. That's fine too. I don't think that's a big deal. Yeah, I'm surprised that Trick. I'm surprised that both Trick and Oba, neither one of them have been called up yet. And I am nervous. I mean, it's the big elephant in the room, right? This idea, this reality that black men on NXT seem to get booked pretty well, and black men on the main roster, it's a real crapshoot as to whether or not they get a good fair shake of it. And I'm not saying that to call out like racism or anything. I'm not even implying that, but that's clearly noticeable. Like Mello, who is getting steady TV time. I will say this. I don't think he's getting buried, but he's also not really getting a rocket strapped to him either. He's just kind of steady work every week, Truth, they've run hot and cold on him. Obviously, the Hurt Business years ago were not really fully capitalized on. Street Profits, they kind of run hot and cold on the Street Profits too. I'm speaking primarily about the men too, because Naomi, they do right by the women for some reason. Bianca, Jade, Naomi, like they all have gotten fired up opportunities one time or another. Bianca was the face of the division for a while. They wanted Jade to be the face of the division, and Naomi was coming in on that before, you know, her big news. So we'll see. Yeah, Cora, the more I don't know. I don't want to put words in Cora's mouth, but I've seen a few interviews she's given since she left WWE, and she strikes me as a person who maybe who had a hard go of it, but at the same time maybe didn't have the same passion for it that other people did, or she did have a passion for it for a while and then just it kind of faded away for one reason or another. I don't know. Yeah, who is we see Javon Evans just training backstage, running the steps. Interesting, they're already just kind of pumping up that match tonight. Oh, and the story of this match, the story of Jasper and Ricky Saints is just, man, Ricky cannot seem to topple the giant. Shotzi's in a feud with Matt Cardona. I think I've seen a few tweets about that. Do you think we get Wyatt Six versus Bloodline in a War Games match? Justin, when you say Bloodline, do you mean like Solo and the MFTs? I think that would be a fun Survivor Series match. I don't think it deserves a War Games match, though. Oh, man. Jumping senton from Jasper Troy misses, and he lands back first on the steps. I hope I don't want Ricky called up anytime soon. I want Ricky to at least be contending for the NXT championship. Whether he wins it or not, honestly, I'm indifferent about. But he at least should be in contention for the NXT title before he goes to the main roster, in my opinion. Or if they rush, wow, Ricky Saints hits a tornado DDT and kind of unceremoniously just pins Jasper Troy right in the middle of the ring. That was surprising. I mean, it wasn't surprising that Ricky won. I think many of us thought he had to get that win back, but the way he just kind of got the pinfall over him after getting, I mean, he took advantage. He did take advantage of that spot on the steps. Tornado DDTs him outside the ring and inside the ring. 2 tornado DDTs gets him the win. So that does stack up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, they're content on making War Games, main events and stuff. I wouldn't mind the possibility of how the women's War Games matches could stack up this year, though. Hank and Tank backstage. Hank and Tank wants to know which 2 members of Dark State they're going to take on at Heatwave, but no answers yet. The Elegance Brand and their concierge dude are here. The sound mixing seems really off tonight. Jordan Grace is here. Okay. Oh. Promo for Evolve. Yeah. 6-woman tag. I don't know how I feel about the Elegance Brand. I don't watch a lot of Impact, they're okay, I suppose. They kind of make me miss the Iconics, honestly, or the Inspiration, whatever you want to call them. All right, let's keep up. Yeah, I mean, who brought up Ethan Page? Ethan Page. Somebody just met. Uh-oh. I lost my spot in the chat. Sorry. Sophie mentioned, yeah, Ethan Page. I think Ethan is going to do just fine on the main roster once he gets there. He's just got the right amount of charisma to get over with the crowd. And he's already been, he is North American champion right now, has already been NXT champion. So yeah, I always forget about him when people ask about call-ups, but yeah, I mean, I think he's got all that it takes too. So we'll see. George says, I read that TNA Impact could be moving to the CW network on Wednesdays, competing with AEW. Your thoughts about it? I mean, that's business, right? I mean, if I were TNA, I would take baby steps. I would focus on getting on a better network first before I think about competing with AEW. I would much rather them just establish, a strong residency on a new channel before worrying about competition. Because truthfully, I don't know if AEW and TNA went head to head. TNA's ratings are already going to go up if they go somewhere like the CW because they're just going to have bigger viewership. But also they still have acts like the Hardys as well that would draw in casual old WWE fans too. But I don't know how many viewers they'd really pull away from AEW. One, because AEW doesn't have a ton of viewers as much as they used to anyways. And also your average sicko, so to speak, probably isn't really watching Impact anyway or paying much attention to TNA. I would think the average AEW and AEW only fan is obsessed with Dynamite and, Ring of Honor and probably some New Japan and just enough WWE to whine about it. But yeah, I don't know that there's really a lot of casual AEW fans that can be swayed away from their product. I think most of those people left when CM Punk left because their ratings really have never been the same since he left. Like he was pulling in over 1 million viewers for them, and now they're lucky to be in the 600 to 700s every week. So, of course, that's not including the max numbers, which is highly argued about online. Yeah, I mean, I think they would be far better off if they were on the CW than on A&E. Actually, either one's going to be a step up for them from where they are right now, which is what, like Destination America or Access TV or something like that. Like some 10th rate channel. No disrespect to that channel company, but both A&E and the CW are huge steps up in exposure for them. But CW is primetime broadcast television that you don't have to have cable for, and I don't even get A&E on my TV services, so I don't watch LFG. And it really bummed me out because I wanted to watch those biography shows on the WWE stars when they used to do those. I don't know if they still do those or not. Okay, we are back, and here comes Jordan Grace. Nice ovation for Jordan Grace. And we're in a weird spot for this, face-to-face confrontation between Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe. That's going to be a hard match to call, honestly, because conventional wisdom will tell you that Blake should probably win that match. But the way they have made this feud about Jordan's confidence and her body self-image and all this stuff, it's going to be a real mess if Jordan loses that match. That's all I'm saying. I mean this in a way that wants the best for Jordan Grace's career in NXT and on the main roster. She should probably have a manager. Every time she comes out and cuts a promo, she doesn't really cut bad promos, but for some reason the crowd does not really jump in with her right away. Her promos kind of always start out a little slow, like in terms of fan interaction. She takes long pauses at weird times too. Like listen, I like Jordan too. I want her to be successful. I'm surprised she has not won a title yet. And Sophie will laugh at me because she's been a member of the channel, a subscriber since the beginning. And I said way early in the year that I thought before the year was over, she would have won a title in WWE. And she has not. And she's probably my last chance at getting one prediction for 2025 right. Now she doesn't want revenge. Bigger ovation for Blake, who's coming out with security and appears to be a contract. Seriously, George. Yeah, like she's getting better, George. I want to see the crowd catch on with her. She is improving. It's just she's not always connecting. I wonder if there's a stipulation in this match. Oh, it's the "you can't touch me" contract until the match. You've been right about a lot of things, but this is where you're wrong. See, this is the thing. You were an Evolution, right? Yes, I was the biggest women's event in wrestling. And where were you? You were standing right there, ringside. Well, I was in here, wrestling as one of the main characters. So what I think, Blake, is that you are jealous of me. All right, Jordan's finally turning a little bit of a corner and manipulating Blake's vanity. Blake is jealous, Chance. Okay. George, you have a point because, you know, as much as I criticize her not really like connecting with the fans on her promos yet, the fans are being patient with her. Like, they're not wadding her, they're not booing her. They are just there's some awkward silence sometimes, but they're being patient with it. And which is a gift from the crowd, their patience.
Why you? Why not? Who's more pathetic than Jordan? Blake, I don't need to touch you to show you exactly what's going to happen.
Boom. So Jordan Grace is making an example out of all the security guards to show Blake what she's going to do. One dude just straight up bailed. I thought she said you couldn't lay a hand on her, and you're literally holding her by the wrist. Okay. I couldn't help but notice Jordan did take down one security guard who looked like he was the size of Wardlow, but it's okay. Fatal Influence is here. Laney Reed again showing up. And here's Zaruka. Soruka still holding the speed title, by the way. Huh. They just teased Soruka defending the speed title, maybe on NXT. So could it be that we're going to keep the speed championships, but bring them over to television instead of Twitter? I don't mind that, because that tells me that they view the speed champion gimmick as something that's ready for a larger audience. But who knows? So maybe Soruka, we may get a Soruka, whatchamacallit, Soruka Laney Reed speed title match. Well, as a show, Sophie, I guess it's not around anymore because it hasn't aired for 2 or 3 weeks since before SummerSlam. However, the championship is still, at least the women's championship is still showing up on TV. So if they want to add that title to WWE television, whether it's NXT, main roster, main event, Evolve even, wouldn't bother me. George, don't you just wonder, because I think we've talked about this before, Laney Reed is a little, I don't want to say Timu, but she isn't Laney Reed kind of Fallon Henley-ish? And we've seen a little bit of tension between Fallon and JC. Here's a deal. I think El Grande Americano was the men's speed champion, I thought. Anyway, what if JC does lose both those titles? JC gets called up, and in her call up, Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix kick her out of Fatal Influence and replace her with Laney Reed, and maybe it becomes Fallon's faction at that point. But Because honestly, Fallon and Laney probably jive more as a duo more than Fallon and JC do anyways. But I don't mind the women's speed title being on NXT because you're only getting a 3 or a 5 minute match guaranteed anyways. So I don't know. I feel like we are getting a little bit like Laney Reed is kind of doing the Roxy thing with Judgment Day. Not so egregiously, but just like kind of keep showing up and sidling up to them. And I think Laney Reed definitely does have more in common with Fallon Henley than JC Jane does. So who knows? Who knows where it'll go? We'll see what happens. But yeah, Sunday, August 24th at 4 p.m. local time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, NXT Heatwave. That'll be that's this Sunday. So here we go. We'll have to see what we get. I think we may try to do some coalition predictions for Heatwave, but I have to get in touch with A&B Combos to see if they're available for that. They expressed some interest in it, but as long as we can get that booked, we'll do that as well. Yeah, I mean, as far as factions go, I think those three ladies probably would work together a little bit. Not that anything wrong with JC, but I think they probably a little more harmonious in character. Tonight's NXT Spotlight, sponsored by Progressive. Javon Evans, as we're at the halfway point in the show.
Why he's selfish is because he's losing. Trick knows that the FOG has, like I would feel some type of way undertaking choke slam me too, but I'm not worried about that. All right, to be a champion, I gotta think like a champion. And to get to Oba, I gotta think like a champion. But honestly, Trick's not gonna lock in. You feel me? He's trying to be what the face of two brands. He's trying to be a rapper. He's trying to be an ugly ass actor.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wonder about JC like just leaving NXT at that point and then re-debuting on the main roster. But okay, time for the 6-woman tag, the Elegance Brand against Fatal Influence. Yes, George, we've talked a lot about call-ups tonight. If Oba does get his call-up, I think him putting over Javon would be huge. It would be huge. Yeah, so Sophie brings up an interesting point as the Elegance Brand makes their entrance here into the NXT arena here in Philly tonight. There's been a lot of chatter that Chris Jericho's time in AEW is coming to a close. And would that mean he would come back to WWE probably to wrap up his career? I'm not that interested in seeing Chris Jericho wrestle anymore. He could do the little seniors tour thing that John Cena's doing. Like maybe he could get one match with Cody. If Kevin Owens came back from his neck injury, I'd love to see them run it back. He could wrestle Randy. Maybe some of the older guys, but I don't really want to see too much main event stuff from Chris Jericho. Have him show up in the Rumble for sure, the Hall of Fame induction. But yeah, and also I'm curious what version of Jericho we would get at this stage, if he would revisit any of his old gimmicks or if he would try to reinvent himself one more time. I'm curious. Also, for those of you in the chat, here's a question for you tonight. What good evening, Teflon Don. Our mod father is here at the halfway point tonight here at NXT in Philly. Tell me, what was your favorite version of Chris Jericho? Let me know what you think. Masha Slamovich just casually already, I guess she was already in the ring reffing tonight. By the way, my favorite Chris Jerichos were two of them: his cruiserweight champion in WCW, or the version that feuded with Shawn Michaels in WWE when he punched his wife. Yes, Angela, the 07 08 Chris Jericho, or the 08 09. I'm the best in the world at what I do, Chris Jericho. I liked him a lot. Who held Big Gold. This is an interesting 6-woman tag because, to my understanding, these are both heel teams. So the crowd is just kind of quiet. I mean, they're reacting to the moves a little bit, but not cheering really for either one of them. Yeah, the Great American Bash bloody match, Angela. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I mean, there's a lot of thought there that he would want to wrap up his career in WWE. I think there's a lot of people presuming that. Granted, of course, he hasn't said anything. Now the crowd reacts for JC Jane coming in the ring against Ash. Okay. The chant, the UK chant is officially dead. We are now JC Jane. We're getting the JC Jane chant. The chant is dead. We can kill it now. All right. Question from our mod father. And also show some love to his profile picture. Which title do you think has the best champions, Big Gold or the WWE Undisputed title? Mod father, I want to ask a point of clarity. When you say Undisputed title, are you talking about that black and gold title that that replaced Big Eagle and the Big Gold together? You know, that Jericho was holding together, and then Triple H beat him at WrestleMania X8, and they had the one big black title. Let me know your feelings on that. Which, by the way, I'm going to go. Masha Slamovich is ejecting the concierge from ringside. I'm going to say Big Gold anyways, just because. Okay, Teflon Don thinking. I'm going to say Big Gold just because I'm including the WCW years in that as well. Big Gold had Flair, Dusty. I know it had Ronnie Garvin, but Sting, Lex Luger, Hogan, Goldberg, Savage, Nash, Booker T, few others. I mean, and then in WWE even, you had Triple H and Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, Chris Benoit, Christian, Randy Orton, Jericho. Yeah, so I think one, Big Gold has been around long. Undertaker, I didn't even mention Undertaker. So I think it's just been around longer. There's more champions to choose from. So yeah, it might also It might also have some of the worst champions too. Because it had Great Khali, Jeff Jarrett, Jack Swagger, a few others. WWE Jericho Dream Match, Angela Lockwood says. If you're asking what a Jericho Dream Match I'd want to see, I kind of want to see him. I kind of like to see him with Cody. And if not Cody, maybe CM Punk. Alberto Del Rio. Yeah, good call, Teflon Don. Yeah, maybe a couple of those guys. Who gets pinned in this match? If Fatal Influence gets pinned, I think it's going to be Jasmine Nix because she's my go-to. Poor Jasmine. I pick on her a lot. And otherwise, probably who's the short Elegance one? Heather? Probably her. Okay. George says Jericho versus John Cena. I mean, we haven't seen that match in 20 years. So I think 20 years. That was one of the last time I remember them feuding before Jericho left the first time around. Oh, no. Cena did beat Jericho for big gold when he returned from an injury. Forgot about that. Oh, yeah, JC did get pinned last week. Yeah, that would sell the title match, George, if, say, Ash pinned JC and you have Masha making the pin. I mean, that does kind of sell the triple threat for Sunday. So that's a good point. I didn't even think about that this is basically the go-home show for Heatwave. So, oh, Zack Ryder. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. Cardona. But you know what else would be great about Jericho coming back is him being in the 2K game. I'm sitting here and thinking, though, it would be a lot of fun to do like a showcase mode in the game with Jericho, but so many of the people you can't use in his career. Like, you can't use Benoit. You can use Austin and Rock because he beat Austin and Rock in the same night. You can have him fight Triple H, but Big Show was a big part of his career. Could you do that, you know? That kind of stuff. So I don't know. That is a good question, though. Here's a good question. So you guys are familiar as JC Jane riling up the crowd, rolling sense on Cannonball into the corner on Big Elegance. What Rickerty? I mean, I think he'll want to retire there. I mean, because he's gonna want to be in the Hall of Fame, and you know, his video library stuff be shown again and get his flowers. I think the Cena retirement tour has definitely shown a little bit of love. And I think he's even said he wanted to retire in WWE. Big knee. Jasmine going for the pin. If you guys could pick a showcase mode for the next 2K game, what superstar or one, predict what superstar it could be, and if there were no rules, if you could do any superstar at all and you don't have to worry about who works for what company, and this, that, and the other. Who would you do a 2K showcase for? Man. Man, things are breaking down. Lots of pin breakups and interferences. Pump kicks everywhere. Now Fallon just throwing bombs. Oh, Fallon faceplant on that mat. Okay. Fallon mounting her on the announce table. Swanton by Ash onto Jasmine Nix, but Masha is not paying attention. And only a 2 count because Masha was out of position. And Ash is not happy. Hey, Shimonica, good to see you. Okay, Angela says Hulk Hogan for the showcase. That would be a lot of fun because getting to go through Hulkamania, through the NWO. And there it is. JC pins Ash by Elegance in the 6-woman tag. Booking 101 though makes you wonder, does that mean she's going to be victorious on Sunday? We'll see what happens. Shimonica, good to see you. Teflon Don says Randy Orton. Randy Orton would be great. There's so many. A showcase for the bad guy. Rickerty says Scott Hall. Yes, Razor Ramon. That would be a lot of fun as well. Justin says Wahoo McDaniel, The Undertaker. Undertaker would be fun too. All right. I'm going to give you mine. And mine would be Daniel Bryan. That's a good one. Yes, sir. Good match, Anthony. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Bret the Hitman Hart. Now, let me tell you why. Is because you could go the length of his career. We've got, who's this talking to Charlie Dempsey? Kendall Gray. Kendall Gray was 61-0 in college wrestling. And here comes the culling. Two-on-one match. Okay. We have Team Canada here walking all the way through. So yeah, I'd pick Bret, and this is why. You could start off Bret versus the Cuban Assassin. Okay, Rickerty, I see you, dude. I like that. With Bret, you could start off with the Hart Foundation, and you could have matches against the British Bulldogs, against Strikeforce, against the Road Warriors, even if you wanted to, or whatever, or the Nasty Boys, WrestleMania 7. And then you could split Bret off into his singles run. You could redo the match with Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam. Another thing I'd do, even though maybe not have the Mr. Perfect match, but I would have his entire King of the Ring run in '93 as like a gauntlet match where he fights Razor Ramon, Mr. Perfect, and Bam Bam Bigelow. And you could even make it to where he can't use the sharpshooter in that match because he didn't beat any of those guys with the sharpshooter. Angela, absolutely right. SummerSlam 92, have him against the Bulldog. You do the Yokozuna matches. You could do, and since we're like fantasy casting here, I'd love to have his matches with Owen in there as well. and obviously his matches with Sean. And you could even do his street fight with Vince, the Stone Cold. Oh, yeah. Teflon Don saying a Stone Cold showcase, which we'll get there in a second. That's brilliant as well. But also like the Brett and Austin, just the number of feuds you could put in there. You could put him in there with Nash. And that's not even touching like his WCW run, because you have like the Nitro Arena in the game already. So, you could put him in there. You could have him in there against Goldberg if you want to. Change history. So anyway, Brett and Roddy Piper, which I think they've done that match in the WrestleMania showcase before already. But yeah, I think there's so much, if you really had access to all of them, that you could do with Brett, which would be a lot of fun. Sean would be a lot of fun too. But yeah, Austin, Teflon Don. I think if they could create multiple, how like they have the backstage brawls where you're fighting in the parking lot, or up on the scaffoldings and stuff like that. It would be great if they had different backstage areas, and it could be like the grocery store with Booker T, or the operating room with Vince McMahon, and you're dressed up like, I'll take over from here, nurse, and you hit him with the bedpan and all this other stuff. Or you can have little mini games where you drive the Zamboni or the beer truck to the ring. If that was even just for a Stone Cold showcase, that would be so much fun. That would be that would be an absolute blast. I would love that. But yeah, Sean, you could do stuff with the Rockers. You could do his solo stuff before the back injury, his stuff after the back injury. You could do that whole Jericho feud, all kinds of stuff. Who's holding out? Hit that like button. Thank you, Rickardy, for bringing that to the class's attention. Obviously, we need as many likes as we can get. Keep things going. Keep building up these watch hours. Unlock some super chats. Unlock some memberships. And then we're going to be operating on a whole nother level at Mark by Wrestling from here. Brock, Angela, you could have a lot of fun matches there too. You got your Undertaker stuff, the Randy match, all those Survivor Series matches, the Daniel Bryan match, the AJ Styles match, the Finn Balor match, the Rey Mysterio match. There's lots of stuff you could do there too. The Goldberg matches would be a lot of fun. Obviously, the Roman matches too, but and the Cena matches would be a lot of fun. Just because he was one of my favorites, I would love a Steamboat showcase too, because you could have Savage, you could have Rick Rude, you could have a tag team with Dustin Rhodes, or a tag team with Shane Douglas, Flair, obviously. It's time for the U.S.-Canadian peace treaty, everybody. It's pretty wild. As they announced the Canadian contingent, and they're coming out to Chelsea's music. Oh, no, they're not. They have merged it. They did a mashup. I was like, is Ego about to come out to Hot Mess? Sorry, everybody. What are they doing? He says, I know. Oh, Ethan Page just had the Secret Service get rid of the table. He's like, I've seen these contract signings before. I know how this goes. That is brilliant. Get rid of the table. That's so smart. That was very Kevin Owens like, thinking, outside the box, thinking hyperlogically. That's almost a marked moment for me tonight. Is Ethan Page having the mental capacity to eliminate the table. Tavion Heights and Tyra May Steele here. It's a heck of a thing to call her the real deal Tyra May Steele when Evander Holyfield's actual son was on LFG in that same season. And he was called the real deal, but whatever. Tell you what, in 2025, it's a tall task to carry a pro-America gimmick. But it's working in Philly.
Exactly what you said. You are becoming a solo star. I watched you fight your way out of NQCC. I want to become what you described yourself to be, a weapon in human form.
Ethan Page is putting over Tavion so far.
Opportunity. But that's the issue. You, sir,
I agree, Anthony. I like Ethan and Chelsea as a team.
you can shoot because you're still brand new in an hour. Take out in your world, you're a world-class athlete. That is extraordinary. But this is our world. In our world, professional wrestling, we don't do what you do in the Olympics. We don't celebrate losers. Second place or third place.
I think Tavion makes for a good contender to Ethan Page.
Because here, our world,
Just in the non-verbals and the body language, though, Ethan and Chelsea totally coming off far more composed and professional and comfortable in this segment than Tyra May and Tavion, which makes sense. Tyra May is literally a rookie. That'd be dope, Justin. To really, yeah, that would be awesome.
blessed by the athletic gods on Mount Olympus and not made in image. You think I'm not hungry for that greatness right there? Ethan, I want to what's on my plate and yours.
Whoa. No need to get spicy, little T.
Crowd already popping for Chelsea,
So
chanting for Chelsea.
to be disrespectful to the greatest North American championship. Okay? You're being rude to him, but then again, you are American. Now, Tyra,
Oh man. Favorite Royal Rumble legend return, Angela says. I mean, my favorite legend return in Royal Rumble history has got to be Edge in 2020. I mean, that was such a shock and a really beautiful moment. And 2020 was one of my favorite Royal Rumbles of all time. Anyways, it was one of the last great moments we had before we hit the Thunderdome era.
You don't know what it means? College word. It means you're talking so much you have nothing to say. Philadelphia, we speak our mind. And what's on the mind right now? Just for you to shut that voice box up that you call a macro. Excuse me? Honey bunches of oats. Well, I am.
Honey bunches of oats. What?
Take a hard look at this right here. This represents the best. It also represents the fact that I can take you down anytime at any place that I want. If you don't believe me, why don't you ask your secret husband? They know what I'm talking about.
You know what? I think Tyra's doing a good job for a rookie. You know, she's not blowing me away with her promo, but she's not messing anything up. She's doing good though. It's good that she's paired up with Chelsea. Chelsea knows how to play well across people. Rickety, good to see you, man. Thanks for popping in tonight. Always good to have you around. They're getting cut off. Here comes Ava. Heatwave. Mixed tag. Mixed tag Sunday at Heatwave. Oh, and Ethan and Chelsea cheap shot the Americans. Uh-oh, they both just got caught. Oh, double ankle locks. Tyra May and Tavion both snapping the ankle lock on their respective opponents. Secret Hervis trying to drag Chelsea out of the ring, and they get her away from Tyra May, but no help for Ethan. Secret Hervis now trying to grab Ethan and get him out too. Okay, there we go. Miles Bourne and Ricky Saints talking backstage. Lexus King now rolling up on Miles Bourne. Justin, probably the world title match, whoever Oba Femi ends up facing, I'm most looking forward to. Lexus appears to be apologizing to Miles Bourne about making fun of his or calling his disability into question. Oh, he just sprayed mace and or pepper spray in Miles Bourne's face. And it's like, well, now you're blind. Jeez. Well, there we go. We've got so let's run down the Heatwave card here momentarily. And they're going to be in Lowell, Massachusetts. And right now we have got 6 matches booked for Sunday. So we have Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe. We have a singles match for the NXT Championship where Oba Femi will be defending against either Trick Williams or Javon Evans. That is yet to be determined based on our main event, which should be coming up next when we get back from the break. The tag team match for the NXT tag team titles, Hank and Tank will be defending against 2 members of Dark State that we have not yet determined. A triple threat match for the TNA Knockouts Championship. JC Jane will be defending against Masha Slamovich and Ash by Elegance. And then a triple threat match to determine the number 1 contender for JC Jane's NXT title will be Jada Parker versus Kalani Jordan versus Lola Vice. And then just announced a mixed tag match, Ethan Page and Chelsea Green versus Tavion Heights and Tyra May Steele. I think all those matches have a lot of potential. I am looking forward to Jordan and Blake. Definitely Oba Femi's title defense. I think the Dark State and Hank and Tank match could be a sleeper match of the night. I'll be honest, I'm not super looking forward to the JC Jane triple threat, but I am looking forward to Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, and Lola Vice. And I think that mixed tag match should just be fun. I think that should be a good, fun match. Who's going to open Heatwave? That's a great question. I have a feeling the ladies might open it. That triple threat match, the number 1 contender match. We may see there. So Shamanico, the first hour. Yeah, I'll be glad to revisit that for you. So the opening match was a street fight where Josh Briggs beat Oba Femi. Not Oba Femi, sorry, Josh Briggs beat Inamura. And that was a pretty violent street fight, at least by NXT standards. So they had that. And then also Ricky Saints got his win back over Jasper Troy. It took him 2 different tornado DDTs. He hit him once on the outside of the ring and once on the inside of the ring to get the pin on Jasper Troy. And then the next, match after that, we had a standoff basically between Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe, where Blake said, you can't touch me until Heatwave. Yeah, stuff like that. And then Fatal Influence as a team won a 6-woman tag against the Elegance Brand from TNA, where Masha Slamovich was the special guest referee. And we saw JC Jane get the win by pinning Ash by Elegance, with, of course, Masha counting the count as a special ref. So a little bit of a preview for Sunday. Yet we haven't seen Stax tonight, Justin. The last time we saw him, though, he was teamed up with Ariana Grace. Here's Kalani and Lola backstage talking. Lash Legend is here. Kalani said toe to toe, more like Asta ribs. Dang. It's interesting they're plugging this match, and Jada wasn't even present for it. Dark State now talking to Ava. Joe Hendry cameo. I know Joe Hendry didn't just bust out of a closet next to Dark State. Oh my gosh, they're still doing the butt jokes with Cutler James. They're shooting themselves in the foot. And even Joe Hendry was like, "Oh, that was a great Joe Hendry cameo, though." Dark State's really fallen down a few pegs, though. Like, I'm not saying like I was scared of them, but you had a reason to be nervous when they showed up on screen, and they're injecting way too much comedy when they're on screen, which is not a ton, but the amount that they're even doing is weird. Could you imagine they're making butt jokes when the Shield first showed up? It'd be weird. Yes, Dawsey, exactly. It undercuts their presence. I don't know why they've chosen Dark State to try to implement that humor through. It's not a good pairing. It's not that the jokes aren't funny. It's just like it's not for them. Well, I'm definitely not taking them seriously now. It almost makes me want to pick Hank and Tank over them. Like I don't think Dark State needs a manager, Justin. I think Saquon Sugars is a good mouthpiece for them. But I don't, man, I just don't know. Yes, Shamanica, my plan is to go live for Heatwave this Sunday. So I plan to be there. Yeah, Hank and Tank are great for it. Absolutely. Well, earlier in the night, I don't know if Dro is still with us, but Dro was calling for a DQ in this match tonight. I don't know if he's presuming we're going to see that triple threat again. But here comes Javon Evans. He's bouncy. All right, Javon versus Trick Williams. What do you think is going to be the result of our main event tonight? Trick or Javon? Yeah, I mean, if we don't get a clean finish, it is absolutely going to be a triple threat. It couldn't be anything else. So, did I hear there might be a potential TNA pack with the Hardys, Joe, Masha, and Ash? I did not hear that, but I would absolutely be about that. You know what would be fun is if they also added the TNA titles into the title run. That would be a lot of fun too. The DLC calendar today, and there's not another drop until mid-September. So that would be a great time to drop something TNA specific. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I don't know if it's too late in the life cycle for 2K25 for them to include that, or if maybe it's something they'll do next year. But I'd be all for it if they did this year. It'd be a lot of fun, and it'd be a blast to be able to have the Hardys in there, because you've already got the Dudleys in the game too, and so just more. And in September, the New Age Outlaws and Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown are added to the DLC too. So you'll be able to recreate all of DX and all of the Nation of Domination as well. Ooh, so we might have to do a Nation versus DX War Games match then, because you'll have Hunter, the New Age Outlaws, X-Pac, and you could go China or Shawn Michaels to have your 5 there versus Farouk, The Rock, D'Lo, and Mark Henry. We would need the Godfather, though. I don't think the Godfather's in the pack. Or is he? Now I got to find out. What do I think about Worlds Collide, AAA versus NXT? I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, the last Worlds Collide was a lot of fun. AAA, Triple Mania was a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll probably see Omos again. Ooh, what if we got Omos versus Oba Femi at Worlds Collide? That would be pretty wild. Shamanica, it's okay. Well, hey, you know what? If you're ever not doing anything, just play it in the background afterwards. If you don't get there while it's happening, either way. Okay, so El Grande Americano is actually coming in September as well. In September is the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, and then Victoria as well. And then all the way in November, we're going to have Jesse Ventura in the game, the Junkyard Dog, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Sid Justice, and Tito Santana. So I think there'll be a lot of fun, scenarios there, because we've already got Aleister Black in the game now too. Oh yeah, Jordan, Grace, and Penta, and Stephanie and Julia, yeah, all of them in there. So it's been a blast. The DLC this year has been a lot of fun. Honestly, I'm kind of glad the Travis Scott deal fell apart. That ended up being a good move for the players and the consumers of the game. So, yeah, I love some good expanded WWE rosters. So, all right, we're moments away from Trick Williams making his entrance and us getting our main event of the evening underway. If we're going to get a clean finish, I'm just leaning towards Javon Evans, because Trick Williams has already got his hands full as TNA champion. And I don't think they're going to do like title for title with Trick and Oba. Okay. Here he comes. Loud, whoop that Trick. Dude, if we Justin, I have no idea who AAA is going to send. I'm sure we probably see Mr. Iguana. Maybe we see Microman. But I tell you what, man, Mecha Wolf and La Parka, it would be fun to see those guys there as well. Dulcie. Throw the whole thing in the trash. Throw the whole thing in the trash. Well, Philly, firmly supportive of Trick Williams. It looks like there's a spotlight on somebody in the balcony, like watching the match. But maybe it's just the way the lights are hitting. Sorry, it was a little grainy. And I couldn't tell if it was a fan or if it was a wrestler. But no, I guess it's a fan standing in the corner. Oh, it's Oba. Okay, it was Oba Femi who I saw. Yes, Microman versus Almas at Worlds Collide. I have not seen a lot of the memes, Justin, but that moment itself was brilliant. Oh, I loved it so much. Between that and the Finn Balor Demonito puppet, it was hilarious. Man, trouble in paradise. Trick firmly in control. Man, Trick busted Javon's mouth open. Rock bottom reversed into a arm drag. And now Javon going for roll up. Only two. Boot to the head for himself. Oh, he clocked Trick with a kick there. Man, Javon's elevation on drop kicks is wild. A Lion King. I did see that one, Justin. Yes, I saw that. Angela, my dream AAA WWE match. I'd like to see Vikingo and Penta. I think that would be fun. Oh, Trick laying in those chops. Right, George. He did say Undertaker did kind of give the rub to Javon the same night he choke slammed Trick, saying, you should go for more, kind of pushing him towards the world title picture. Well, they're talking about it on commentary.
That same thing that's motivating Javon Evans is motivating Trick Williams because Trick doesn't want to be.
Well, Trick doing a little Booker T, staring at his hand, and then he took too much time. Javon reverses. More smacks to the chest. Mech Wolf versus Jacob Fatu or La Parka versus. Oh, those would be great. Trick getting a little ground and pound on Javon. Trick firmly in control right now. Here in our main event tonight for NXT, we got Heatwave on Sunday. Winner of this match will take on Oba Femi, which I can't remember the last time they didn't have the world title match booked until the go home show of a PLE, but here we are.
Can a title shot actually be considered a reward for winning this matchup? One of these two men is going to have to stand toe to toe with the rule. Going swat away everyone who gets that.
Corey Graves makes a good observation on commentary. Is getting rewarded with a match with Oba Femi truly a reward? Natty versus Fabi. Oh yeah, that's actually a good question, Justin. That would be a great sort of rematch from Triple Mania. Also, you probably got Lola Vice versus that girl that interfered in the mixed six person tag. La Hydra or something is her name. Javon is so agile, man. So agile. Dive to the outside. Man, there was a wooden crate just outside the ring up against the guardrail that one of the cameramen was using, and Javon looks like he almost hit his head on it on the way down. Thankfully, we haven't had any stage issues yet tonight. Oh my gosh! Javon was standing on the top rope trying to springboard in. Trick caught him standing on the top rope and just yeeted him out of the ring all the way through the announce table. Javon pretty much went over the announce table and only caught a piece of the table, but it still broke the whole table. And the announce team is just slack-jawed. I don't even see Corey Graves. The ref is checking on Javon. Man. I mean, I think they're legit checking on Javon because they're not even counting him out right now. Corey, I think, somehow fell behind the stage. All right, Javon's either okay or they've decided to count him out because the ref has come back in the ring and he started counting. Yeah, Justin, I think so. Javon's crawling to the ring, though. 7, 8. Javon just fell at 9. Oh, wow. He just got in right at 10. I can tell you right now, Javon is not in good shape if he does win this match. If Javon had a mouth guard in, it just got slapped out of his mouth, too.
I'm sitting here absolutely shocked right now. Everything is at our feet is dismantled. Corey went through the staging that was behind us, and this matchup is still going on.
Yeah, he sent Corey through the staging. So he got completely wiped off screen from that spot. That's definitely a marked moment as well. Well, we got about 5 minutes left in the show, so we'll see if Javon can pull off a miracle. And good grief. They're showing a replay now. Yeah, you can see from the spot that Corey falls off the stage, too. from that shot. And they zoom in on Booker, who's like, I think Javon's dead. That was absolutely wild. Do you think whoever's NXT Tag Champion, do you think the NXT Tag Champs versus AAA Tag Champs at Worlds Collide? That could be a lot of fun. The Psycho Clowns versus Hank and Tank could actually be a very entertaining affair. I don't know if I'd want to see them versus Dark State, but I don't know. That's an idea. Javon fighting back. Man. Javon just selling like his life depended on it, man. Trick still jawing and motioning at Oba. Trick's not actually trying to like pin Javon. He's just trying to basically beat him unconscious. Hip up from Trick. I mean, Trick is fresh, you know, and Javon is just like crumpled into pieces. He's going to have to sneak a win from Trick to get out of this. And again, too, if Javon wins, like, what state is he going to be in against Oba? Like, all right, Javon's starting to fire up. He's like, let's go. Boom. Throwing big hands. He's bobbing and weaving and ducking. He's hitting all his 5Ds of dodgeball right now. Javon's throwing everything he's got. Booker and Conan on commentary. My goodness. Javon going for a dive. Oh, my gosh. Boy, I got scared for a second. I thought Javon was doing a dive off the stage side. German suplex from Javon. He's firing up. He's going up top. Javon's going up top. We got to be getting close to the end here. Frog splash lands hard on Trick. Only two. Trick going for the only two again for Javon with the red dot. Springboard cutter. Oh, Trick did the Mustafa Ali counter. Springboard. Oh, right hand from Trick. Uh-oh, he's aiming up for that Trick shot. This might be the end right here. Oh, super kick from Javon. Now rock bottom. Here comes a Trick shot. Nope. Roll up. Two. Only two from Javon. Clothesline misses. Another clothesline misses. Oh, man. Spinning roundhouse kick from Trick. Lays out Javon. Now he's picking up Trick. Picking up Javon, sorry. Oh, attitude adjustment. Only two. Javon kicking out again. We're about out of time. Oh, now Trick is gearing up for the Trick shot now. He's tuning up the band. Sweet knee music coming up. points at Oba, and he stops, and he points. Oh, Santana. Santana is here. Distracted Trick. And then, man, one cutter from Javon, and then a springboard cutter. Javon steals it. Oh, man, Trick's trash talking distracted him. He went to point the fingers at Oba Femi and looked and saw Santana there instead and got shook for a second. Javon hit the cutter and then jumped up with a springboard cutter off the top to follow it up, and the show was just off the air. They had to rush to get that thing out in time. I have a feeling they had to rush that ending because of that table spot. I think they were concerned about Javon there. You didn't get any breakdown, no commentary after the match. Man, I was going to say yes. I think it is time to put the title on Javon, but like Javon looks like, at least kayfabe-wise, he's going into that match hurt. So I don't know what we're going to get out of it. But yeah, let's drop these ratings before we wrap it up here tonight, guys. What did you think of NXT tonight? George gives it an 8.5. I think that's a solid rating tonight. It was a good 8.5 show. You know, we've got our go home show now for Heatwave, which will be here on Sunday night, going live for that. And we'll be broadcasting that together, having a good time with Heatwave, and quite a impressive, fun card for the whole fandom. There'll be something for everybody there. Angela gives it a 9. Anthony gives it an 8.5. Yeah, I mean, it was a great show. You had we had another Joe Hendry cameo. We had that great table spot, pretty vicious street fight at the beginning. The Sopranos, yes, absolutely, man. You're talking about the Sopranos ending. I know, man. They went out to black. They faded to black hard tonight. All that was missing was Tony Schiavone back in the day. Be like, we're out of time. Justin gives it 10 out of 10. Chin up, chest out, and watch for the caution. You'll be at work on Sunday, George. You watch it when you get home from work on Sunday. Good call. Good call. Well, yeah, hope they bring us a good show. Absolutely think we will be. Tomorrow, I'm going to be live streaming 2K. We're going to do a hardcore title tournament tomorrow. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then in doing the hardcore title. And then, as always, so Heatwave will do Sunday as well. Also, be on the lookout for a Coalition prediction show for Heatwave with A&B Combos. And we'll also, I believe the following week, A&B Combos will be doing a prediction show for Clash in Paris that the three of us will be doing together as well. So plenty of good content coming your way over the next couple of weeks. Thank you guys so much for being a part of what we do here at Marked by Wrestling, which we'll say it every single time before we wrap up. Being a mark just means you believe. Believing makes wrestling better. Find the joy in wrestling. Find the things you like and lean into that stuff. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week. If you're around tomorrow, be on the lookout for 2K. And if not, I'll see you on Sunday for Heatwave. All right, guys, you take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you next time. And watch out for the poll for your marked moment from NXT.